Hey traders, Raghee here, and in tonight's update, we're going to talk about what are the catalysts for the next move this week, because we're going into a very busy two sessions where we have some specific, potentially very impactful data. Core retail sales and retail sales tomorrow, 1 hour before the bell, and then Fed Chair Powell, as I like to call him, at 1:30 p.m. Eastern. Now remember, retail sales and the health of the consumer, the action of the consumer, has generally been faded. So if you think back to the previous consumer confidence number, and I would treat this the same way, if this number comes in weak, I do believe it will be faded. I'm not saying it's contrarian or anything like that, but remember that as we basically leapfrog from data point to data point about inflation, growth, the consumer, we're going to see the Federal Reserve have to think about whether or not their current trajectory to taper, the pace of the taper, and the trajectory to the eventual rate hikes are on track, can be pushed out, can be reeled in. And generally, the way the market is looking at each data point is any indication that the economy is not overheating, any indication that growth is not accelerating, any indication that inflation is not high and maybe in line or lower, is going to help the stock market. So that's the way we want to look at the Tuesday data. And then going into Wednesday, we have the FOMC meeting minutes. All right. So again, we get to be a fly on the wall, find out what the discussion was behind the statement, etc. So again, really impactful data for the next two sessions, and then things get pretty quiet. We go to the usual weekly unemployment claims, etc. Now, what do we want to do with this? Now we're going to step back and ask ourselves, what kind of mood is this market in? Please, please, please remember, we are still in uptrends. And while we could see volatility as part of that Tuesday or Wednesday, those data points, the volatility, especially in the NASDAQ, also in the S&P, and even now in the Dow, is likely going to be, if it moves to the downside, it's going to be bought. We're seeing that through the Monday session intraday. Initial weakness on the open, in this case, very likely tied to geopolitics in Afghanistan. We're seeing that bought into. This is an environment of dip buying. If the underlying sector, index, or individual stock is in a double green, look for the dip buy. So then we have a second scenario, which is, aside from the indices, let's go a little deeper. Index sector stock, boats and tide. Let's take a look at which sectors are looking very good. Healthcare has been actually an excellent relative outperformer, and therein lies where we need the patience. I want to see a pullback in healthcare, XLK tech, XLC communication. We can buy dips in financials now that it's freshly gone double green, but be careful, be cautious. This went very parabolic. I'm not surprised to see the volatility that we're seeing. In other words, we accelerated quickly away from the wave. The distance between the wave and price increased to past 1.5 times the daily price movement range, aka that's now a parabolic market. So we see some pronounced moves there from time to time, but there are corners of this market that look really, really good. Healthcare, tech, communications are amongst my favorite. And then we can take a look at some of the newcomers to the trends. XHB looking very, very good. I've talked about the Dow and DIA, again, buyable, but I'm not interested necessarily in XLI or IYT. Please don't concern yourself with the fact that transports are in a downtrend. They're actually trying to form a 1, 2, 3 at the moment. 1, 2, 3, and then maybe we're going to see the breakout if we can get above this swing high in this Darvis level right here. Remember, transports and industrials are not the top two, not even in the top two weighted sectors inside the Dow any longer. That is actually financials and tech. So don't get too swept up in the industrials and transports narrative, somehow suggesting that we're going to head lower. And that brings us to our final point. Where we have good structure with the 8, 13, 21, and 34, we're going to focus on buying the dip. And I'm going to get into a whole lot of that and more in the premium video. We're going to talk about gold and bonds and some of these sectors that I like, even some individual names that have good clarity. I'll see you in the premium video. And as always, if you have any questions, if you have any comments, please feel free to leave them below. I love getting the feedback. Is there a topic you want to cover? Is there a particular stock that you want me to cover? We also do the charts and coffee every morning between 9 and 9:20 a.m. Eastern. So that's an opportunity to join me live every morning at the Simpler Trading YouTube channel for some pre-market Q&A. Thanks for the time. I'll see you in the next update. Smash the like button on the way out and be good to each other. Hey traders, Raghee from Simpler Trading. Thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to leave a like and a comment below. And remember, subscribe and click the bell icon so you'll get notified of the next update. And when you're ready to join me for live trading, be sure to head on over to simplertrading.com. I'll see you in the next update.